Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video we're going to be taking a look at, of all champions, Red Skull. Now let me level with you immediately. Red Skull is a huge steaming pile of garbage. He sucks. That's all there is to it. I'm not going to try and convince you guys of opposite, because there is no leg to stand on that argument. He's just very bad champion. And unlike many of the older champions that have outdated since they have gotten released, or just never have had enough abilities to begin with, like Iron Man or, I don't know, Ant-Man and stuff like that, Red Skull doesn't have any of the defense because he was just a bad champion from get-go. His damage was pathetic and his viability in any game mode was never even considered. However, I did plan on making a video on Red Skull a while back. More specifically when Odin was about to come to the game. Because I did look up all of the champion abilities that interact with having buffs or having more buffs, and Red Skull was one of them. He has two abilities here in particular. Gain 107.89 critical and energy resistance for each buff on Red Skull. It doesn't specify what kind of buff. And then you also extend your shock duration by 50% for each buff on Red Skull, thus giving the level 2 significantly more damage. Now, I was always certain that this will not make him into some sort of insanely useful champion, but I wanted to see the results of what would happen if you have like 3 different copies or 4 different copies of Odin, start the fight with like 12 buffs on Red Skull plus his 5 armor up, so that makes it 19 buffs, and he has like very jacked duration on that shock and gets super tanky where opponent can like never crit and stuff like that. But it never came to be because Odin obviously got altered prior to his release even, or slightly after his release. Either way, never got around to making that video. However, we do have a bit of vindication today in Summer of Pain of all places. Right, now there are obviously other game modes where I could have recorded this, but I think this is gonna carry the point home the best. Because it's Summer of Pain. Legitimately, people are using items on revives on this piece of content and whatever not. Plus, Red Skull also qualifies as a villain. The majority of the people did it with Magneto anyways, but still counts. So basically, thanks to the node, you gain an active buff for every 5 hits on your combo meter. And that increases his energy resistance. And as you can see here, I actually took 0 block damage from parrying. And I took 0 block damage here once again. And on top of that, obviously, it also will help me with my own damage output on my level 2s. The question is, and this is just FYI, the very first and only time I tried this fight out. This is the one and only time I tried it, so that means it is extremely simple. I'm actually not even trying to do anything fancy. I'm not trying. Only thing that I'm doing is I'm just dashing away after I drop my level 2, just to kind of like give that shield phase more time to expire. That's about it. That's literally all there is to this fight. So as simple of a way as possible to fight this Darkhawk. Not even trying to hold the block or make sure he never travels to level 1 or any of that. Just dash back to my side of the screen whenever I drop a level 2, and then I battle my way back to his side of the map, and yeah, and just rinse and repeat. Now, needless to say, even with all the help Red Skull gets on this fight from all the extra buffs, damage isn't really great. So 87 hits in. I'm still technically down when it comes to looking at the health bars. I'm at 60%, Darkhawk is at 71%. However, I am gaining on him, and keep in mind that I'm taking 0 block damage here at this point already. So long as I keep gaining more and more buffs, slowly but surely, I will be dealing more and more damage, and I hardly take much, if any, block damage from Darkhawk. And that is what makes this fight kind of brilliant, kind of simple, you know? Just drop your level 2s, dash back, hit regular combos. That's it. That is literally it. And I do not reasonably expect many people or any people to use Red Skull for this fight. However, it is quite generally one of the easier options. Because once again, this was pretty much the very, very first time I tried this fight out. After I kind of like realized that there could be quite interesting interaction. Now, obviously, there are several different nodes now in Act 7 and stuff like that that can actually grant you buffs in themselves. But, yeah, I just kind of, I don't know, felt a bit of a giddy joy, if you will, for Red Skull being as, well, pathetic of a champion. Hydra boss that gets outdamaged by quite literally and virtually anybody in the game. Still to at least be able to have this one thing. It's a little bit of vindication for a champion. Maybe this is about as useful as Red Skull is ever going to be in this game. And I thought it would be a shame if nobody would point that one out. And yeah, so this is a 6-star rank 1, unduped Red Skull. Taking care of business. You can see that the health bars here have basically equaled. I will mess up here at some point, not too long from now. Obviously, once again, the fight is not quickest. Obviously, there are other champions that can do this fight better. But you have to respect, you know, Red Skull's tankiness, Red Skull's determination, and his funny dashback, man. That dashback is just funny. It really looks weird. It looks like a plastic toy, and then there is like a 4-year-old child who's trying to retreat in a fight. Anyhow, I guess this video in reality was here to make fun of Red Skull and show him from his best side. I don't know. I think I'm gonna mess up here somewhere. Yes, I waited too early and I take a hit. So I'm actually behind, but the fight is nearly over. You can see how many hits it takes. I'm just dashing back here. Why not? I have 21 of them. I have 21 of them buffs at this point, so the shocks are going to be lasting for quite a significant amount of time. This is reasonably the last level 2 that I can drop, so it actually came down to the wire, but you can definitely play it better, needless to say that. And I also believe that most of the damage that I took in this fight more than likely came from the recoil. Hey, but still, those shocks are putting in work. Right, so that is it. Our baby Red Skull wins, and it only took 244 hits. I know, it could be worse, and he got it done. Right, so let me know what you guys think about this video. I thought it's quite funny. Yeah, go and try it out for yourself. Why not? See you guys. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information